we have stalled for too long. Or maybe some would say not long enough. Look what we've got here. This actually does throw a bit of a spanner in the works, guys, because to me, this looks like spirit, animal, ranger. Like, I've got to say, the elementalist players are actually, they're maybe saying too much, because a lot of Ellies have been saying this is elemental. It's like, oh, I want to be, I want to be a Firefox, like the internet browser. They're actually saying that, by the way. I don't think this looks like Ellie to me, but I mean, honestly, who knows? To me, this looks like very animalistic, and that really does mess up some of my other predictions, because of course I predicted that kind of weird, almost like fang tooth thing was going to be Ranger, so who knows what that's gonna be a little bit later on. Could be, I don't know, like Revenant or something. Could be something even weirder. And yeah, people are saying it looks like a flame. It does look a little bit like a flame. But I do think this is Ranger. It looks like something very Rangery. It's got these little circles here, these little dots. That to me is evocative of some kind of nature theme thing. Nature wizard, plant wizard, tree wizard. Maybe like my previous prank teaser was more accurate than we could have ever possibly imagined. But either way, like I do think some of these are actually relatively complex to predict. But, you know, okay, I'm having a tough time here, guys, because it's obviously fun to speculate and look at this stuff and think about what it could be. But look, I feel like I'm obligated to tell all of you, okay? We're going to know exactly what they all are in only a few days now. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, just sit tight, okay? Look at the pretty pictures, argue with each other in the comments, and just stay tuned. Stay tuned for more for the elite specializations. But anyway, my bet is going to be on Ranger here. I think I'm going to have to do like a full prediction thing. Just, you know, we got to put the money where the mouth is here, okay? I'll do a full prediction when we see all of them. Like, which will be like the day before, right? It'll be like the day before the announcement or something like that. And we will actually see how accurate I am. I actually have a bit of a feeling that I'll be completely wrong because, funnily enough, this is something that I think ArenaNet always do really well. And I think that's why elite specializations are so exciting, is because ArenaNet are always really unpredictable. This could be Ranger, but it absolutely could be Elementalist. And it's a completely different spin on the Ellie. You're some kind of like, you're summoning little fire sprites or elemental sprites to follow you around, like minion-themed Ellie, for example. That, you know, people are thinking that for a reason. That could be legitimate. And this is something that ArenaNet do. They always come up with kind of wacky new spins on your classic class fantasy that might be around there. So I think that actually is pretty cool overall there as well. I think so. Like, there was also a little bit of talk about this being Thief. I really don't think so. I'm very set on Thief being the card lord and Mesmer being the bard. It has kind of like a slight element of a mask about it. That's where the Mesmer stuff was coming from. I really don't think so, though. I think it looks very, very animalistic, very, very nature themed to me, like kind of like a spirit of the wild that you might end up channeling in some way. Or maybe like you're kind of like leading masses of animals into battle there, because the real key with a Ranger spec, and this is something that has been difficult for ArenaNet to do, I think, and you kind of see that with Untamed being weird, right, and this kind of like mishmash of ideas, is that reworking the pet mechanic is kind of complex, actually. I would say the best implementation with Soul Beast by far. There, because it essentially says you can like turn the pet on or off to get bonuses. I think that was a really good implementation. But if you think about it, Druid doesn't really interact with Ranger's mechanic. It just slaps another set of abilities on it with Celestial Avatar. And Untamed is odd. It basically just gives you abilities and you toggle between two modes, but doesn't really interact with the pet mechanic as much as you'd think, really. So I'm really hoping that if this does turn out to be Ranger, that we do see a difference in how that mechanic operates. Whether like you don't have a pet at all and instead you can kind of summon, you almost like use them as ammo, a bit like Renegade almost, so you could like summon them to do different things at any given time, more like abilities, and like the pets are almost like ammo that you're like hurling at stuff. Sounds a little bit wrong, but you get the idea. Or maybe this allowed you to have multiple pets out at the same time. Again, maybe you have 0 pets, but they combine with you in some way. Something like that, because I think that's what makes Elite Specs really exciting, is this renewal of the mechanic, the changing of the mechanic in some very fundamental way. When I think about really great Elite specializations, I'm always thinking about Reaper. Right? Necro, right? Like all the Necro ones, because they take the Shroud mechanic and instead of adding something on top, like slapping another layer, it changes it. And I think those are the ones that always feel the best design to me. and like the most fun to play, because they really do completely switch up how that profession plays. And I think the Necromancer ones, all of them have done that to great effect with Scourge, Reaper, and Harbinger. And hopefully we see the same thing with Ritualist, okay, which surely is going to be happening. Right. It's a furry spec. You become the pet. I mean, look, I think a lot of people would like that, guys. We'll see. But yeah, I actually don't have that many thoughts on this one, to be honest. I'm definitely leaning into Ranger on this one, but who knows? Maybe the Ellie mains are right. I want to see some discussion about this, though, because I think this is... Look, at the start of the stream, when we were talking about this, it got heated. So, you know, if you're in the YouTube comment section right now, you guys need to behave yourselves, okay? It was getting out of hand. People were out of control. So let me know what you think about this one. Count down the days. They are counting down. Goodness me. So thank you very much for watching. Leave your comments. Leave your thoughts. Oh, and one more thing. I actually really want to mention this. This is something that is super cool, actually, and I will be shilling this mercilessly on all of my social media over the next couple of days. This Saturday, what day is that? That is the 12th at 2 p.m. Central European Time. I am actually going to be, I have the great honor, the privilege, in fact, to be speaking with Ross Scott from Stop Killing Games, which is a really cool consumer initiative, okay, and, you know, consumer rights movement that is trying to prevent bad business practice in the games industry from obliterating games, just terminating service, and basically leaving customers high and dry. People who have bought games. If you've ever seen a dead game, and honestly, we're going to be talking about it not only in general, but also in conjunction with MMOs, which, again, might be something that's close to your heart, because I'm sure many of you will have experienced the death of one of your favorite games. If that's WildStar, if that's Lego Universe, if it's Arcade, right? Like, there are a whole bunch of examples of these games that have basically vanished into the ether. I'm sure we would have very much liked them to have been preserved. In fact, would have been pretty cool if that was the case. So definitely tune in for that. Really exciting. And I'm hoping that you know, we get some stuff done there and we can be a part of something really, really cool. So anyway, I won't waste any more time. That's it for now. I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy. I'll see you around. GG.